Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy TB here, or Austin. Um, so today's story time is a story time it takes place about 5 months ago, and so let's just get into it. So this all started off as a normal day. I got up, I ate, I ate breakfast, which was good as shit. I had tenderloins that my dad had made night prior, and they were good as hell. And yeah, so on this day, my friend was gonna pick me up, and we were gonna go and do stuff, right? Just because I was bored and I had nothing to do. So we he comes and gets me, and the first thing we go to, I think he said he had to do like a few errands, right? So he goes to this Dollar General, and this is where the story starts. So we go to this Dollar General, and I don't know, I think it was like a market or something. And so he said that I needed to go look for White Ranch and kale chips, which I don't know what the fuck is a kale chip. It sounds like you dipped your chip in the deep blue sea and then decided to eat it. But whatever. So he decides to tell me to go look for this, right? And so I find the ranch, right? And no pun intended, ha ha ha, ranch, glizzy, na 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 na. And so I go back to my friend, and this guy's just sitting here talking to him. And the way the aisle was there was pizzas on like in the in the freezers. So he's trying to get a pizza, right? Because he wanted to make one night. And this dude just starts talking, and we're at the end of this aisle, and he doesn't start talking until we're at the other end of the aisle. And then of course I go to look for the kale chips, and every single aisle I go in, this dude's just in the aisle, just staring at me, just with this big ass smirk on his face, like, "Huh, I'm gonna get you." And he didn't actually say that, but he was probably thinking it. So I essentially, me being me, anxiety not free. I walk over to my friend, and I'm like, "Dude, there's a dude just following me through these aisles," and he's like, "What? Do you need to go tell somebody? Go tell one of the managers, maybe they can get him out or get him to stop?" And I was like, "No, dude, I'm fine. This dude's following me around." And he was like, "All right, dude, whatever you say." So we get about halfway through, and we're standing in line, right? And the dude's behind us, right? And I didn't think much of it. Yeah, maybe he's got his stuff and maybe he's gonna leave. And so he taps me on my shoulder. I turn around. I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he's like, "Dude, you know how COVID's going around, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Yeah, you don't need to wear a mask." And I was wearing my mask. I was wearing my fat ass Supreme mask, and I wasn't even doing it to flex. I was just doing it, because I don't want to get COVID. And I was like, "Yeah, I just didn't want to get it." And he was like, "You do realize it's not that serious?" And he's the only person in the store wearing not wearing a mask. And of course, my friend jumps in. And he's like, "Dude, you're everybody else is wearing a mask except for you. Hop off my friend." And he's like, "What'd you just say?" And I was like, "Hop off my friend." And he was like, "Oh well, you shouldn't really say that." And I was in disbelief. I was like, "Dude, this dude doesn't make sense." So we just ignore him. We just let him talk to himself. And so we get in the car after we get all our groceries, and we go to his house because I guess that was all he had to do. And there's a car following us, and every time my friend would go to switch lanes, he would switch lanes, and he'd make every single turn that we were making, everything. And so we're like, "Okay, so this is a little weird. Maybe he's he's got his house, and it might be near ours, near my friend's." And so we make a couple random turns. This dude makes these random turns, and we're like, "Oh, okay, so this dude's following us." So naturally, my friend, being the dumbass he is, don't ever follow my friend does or what I do. My friend naturally just goes to his house and goes inside and locks the doors and, calls the cops. And this dude's just sitting in the driveway, just like staring through the window at my friend through the driveway, just creepily just staring at him, just hanging out. And so the cops get there, and he goes to knock on my door, and of course I open the door, and I was like, "What's up, man?" And it's the cops, and they're like, "Oh, well, we got a complaint that there was somebody following you. Is that true?" And I was like, "Yeah, you sit in the driveway." So they go over to his car. They ask him a few questions. He said, "Oh, well, I just wanted to meet Austin," and my face just turned like from like confused to even more just like, what the hell? And I was like, "Oh, well, that's cool. You didn't really have to do all that, but yeah, that's cool." And he's like, "Can I get a picture with you?" And of course, me being the good person I am, I got a picture with him, and I went on with my day, right? And that's where I thought it stopped, which it did, thankfully. But yeah, um, so yeah, that's the story time about how I got followed home, and that was kind of creepy, but whatever. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this story time, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. See you guys all later. Peace.